Hello, welcome to the Redmen TV. I'm Chris Pajak and this is the daily news show. Once again, we're going to look at Emre Can, we're going to talk Fekir, we're going to talk Allison, we're going to talk Oblak and a little bit of Ovie Ejaria as well as getting into some of your comments. So, it was broken by Sky Sports around about 5 to 11 this morning that Emre Can has in fact agreed a 4-year deal with Juventus and he's to undergo a medical with Juventus later on in the week. So yeah, we'll take you over to the Sky Sports news page now. Liverpool midfielder Can has agreed a 4-year deal with Juve and will have a medical later this week, according to Sky in Italy. We all know the German international's contract is due to run out at Liverpool Football Club at the end of this month. And he's been free to discuss terms with foreign clubs since January. I've got to be honest, right? I was a little bit shocked. I had a theory. Probably January, February time, where I thought that Emre Can might go to someone like a Manchester City. I was kind of thinking at the time, he's been able to talk to clubs in Europe or outside of England for a long time. I wonder why he hasn't. I wonder if his contract's going to run out and then we're going to see him sign for one of the big boys in England. I'm glad that doesn't seem to be the case. I would have been really disheartened had he moved to someone like a Manchester City. Chief Executive of Juve, Giuseppe Marotta, said, "I'm confident," this is last month, "I'm confident we'll be able to announce Emre Can after the Champions League final." And before we get into too much about it, I'm sure there's loads of people in the comments section talking about Emre Can now. I'd just like to say thank you to Emre Can a little bit, more from the fact that this could have overshadowed the Champions League run. I think he could have come out a month or so ago and said I'm moving to Juventus, but he always kept tight-lipped on the situation. He always kind of wanted to not take away focus from the team and from their run in the Champions League final. And for that, I actually applaud Emre Can. I think he's been a good servant to Liverpool Football Club. I'm a little bit gutted that he's gone. I think the Fabinho signing and Naby Keita coming in will soften the blow, but ultimately I do believe that Emre Can will be a very good football player, and it's a pity that he's not going to sort of realise his potential at Liverpool Football Club. Unfortunately, we've had him over the last few years where we've had his ups and we've had his downs, but his ups have been very good. I think of that Europa League run in 2015-16 was it, and you know, I think of when Jordan Henderson was out earlier on in the season, and you know, he was a good servant to Liverpool Football Club, and yes, he wasn't the finished article. It's not really his fault, is it? You know, not many people at his age are the finished article, certainly not in centre midfield. So yeah, fair play to Emre Can for keeping quiet during it all. Fair play for the season finishing before he has sort of agreed a move with Juventus. It looked likely, it's the worst kept secret almost in Liverpool at the moment that he was going to go to Juventus. I'm kind of glad that he has gone to Juventus or agreed a deal to go to Juve rather than Man City. That would petrify me a little bit if he moved to an English rival, especially one as good as Manchester City. So leave me your thoughts on that in the comment section and we will come to that later on in the show. Fekir, we're going to talk about him again. We've got to talk about him. Some breaking news just a few minutes before we went live is that he's now rejoined the French national team. I wonder where he's been, is literally the tweet there. Is actually, sorry, the Liverpool Echo's article. I wonder where he's been. Only time will tell, I suppose. Wonder if he's been meeting representatives of Liverpool. I wonder if he's been to Blackpool with Jürgen. Maybe that's what he's been doing. I don't know where Jürgen is, whereabouts in the world Jürgen is right now, but it wouldn't surprise me. You know, I was in Southport at the weekend for the Food and Drink Festival. I didn't see him there. I didn't go to Blackpool. Maybe I'd have seen him there. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? But interestingly, Dave Maddock from the Mirror, update on Fekir, this was a few hours ago now. Agent confirms Liverpool interest but says deal not done. Talks with Liverpool will only happen when there is an agreement with Lyon and President Jean-Michel Aulas gives the green light. Liverpool still want the deal before the World Cup, but Lyon president in no rush. And we've actually got Dave Maddock, he's coming on the podcast later on in the week with me, probably Thursday, Friday time. So if you're a Redmen TV subscriber and you want the latest from David Maddock, we will be speaking to him on the Fekir stuff later on in the week, so do subscribe to the redmentv.com. Okay, over to the Express now. This is from a French journalist, Bill El Ghazi. Apologies if I've said your name wrong there. Liverpool not moved any closer to getting a deal over the line for Nabil Fekir. This one was earlier on this morning, 11:20. According to French journalist Bill El Ghazi, who maintains Bayern Munich could disrupt Jurgen Klopp's plans to sign Lyon captain, Fekir has emerged as one of Liverpool's top transfer targets as Klopp looks to add another dimension to his attack. Reports over the weekend suggested Fekir was due to leave France's World Cup training camp for a medical on Merseyside. We've just seen him arrive back. Let's put two and two together and say that he's been over to Liverpool, he's been over over to meet Jurgen. But it's just rumour, isn't it? So yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like this is going to be a Fabinho-esque transfer. This is the one that could rumble on for 10 days or so. I think the World Cup starts in 10 days. Obviously, Liverpool want that deal done, and the reason that Jean-Michel Aulas wants the deal to be done after the World Cup is, although he's not due to start for France, Fekir could be one of those impact subs, and his price could rise, and you could probably garner a little bit more money for him if he has a good World Cup. Obviously, if he stinks it up, could be looking to lose money. There you go, I'm just saying, Jean-Michel, listen to me. Seriously, what if he has a bad World Cup? Price could go down. You don't want to do that now, do you? No, you don't. Why not? Because you want the money. We're offering the money now. Let's get it sorted. Let's get Fekir in. All the Liverpool fans want to see that. Wouldn't it be mad that Liverpool actually replaced their entire midfield, could replace their entire midfield 2 weeks after the Champions League final? It's a possibility. Keita's already through the door. Fabinho's already in. Nabil Fekir comes in, and that could be 3 midfielders changed. Or Fekir could be one of those rotation players for the front three who knows how it's going to be. I would imagine that he kind of playing a 10 or something like that. And then you'd have the 2 sitters, maybe Fabinho and Keita behind in like a 4-2-3-1. Something like that could be really interesting. Gives us another attacker to play with, another player to stop. I mean, that could be an absolutely frightening front four, couldn't it? Fekir, Mane, Salah, Firmino. I like the sound of that, and I like the idea of Fabinho and Keita in behind. Let us know your thoughts on Fekir in the comments section, of course. Now, on to the goalkeepers. This one's going to rumble on. This one's going to rumble on because, unfortunately, Luis Karius makes a couple of mistakes in the Champions League final. Now, Neil Jones, formerly of The Echo, now Liverpool correspondent for Goal.com, talks, and we'll go down this article a little bit, and he talks about what happened and what's been happening. So discussions were initially promising between Roma and Liverpool, with the player and his representatives keen on the idea of joining the Klopp revolution. I like the sound of that. The Premier League appeals, as does the idea of joining up with Roberto Firmino, obviously an international colleague, and Mo Salah, his former clubmate. Players, it is increasingly clear, find Liverpool and Klopp a very attractive proposition at the moment. Roma, though, have other ideas. Roma don't like the fact that we had the pants down last summer, basically, for Mo Salah. There's talk about a Mo Salah tax if we are to bid for Allison. It's like, it's the price that you pay for Allison and the price that you still owe us for stealing Mo Salah for under 40 million quid. So there's like Allison's price plus the Mo Salah tax. There's the price that we want you to pay for Allison. Listen, I had a close look at him yesterday. It was when Brazil played Croatia at Anfield. Took my little girl to her first game. Nice one if you said hello to me. If I was a little bit weird, it was because I was worried about my little girl. Do you know what I mean? And it's really stressful taking a 3-year-old to the match, especially when, they don't understand what's going on, and you've essentially trapped them in a chair in the Kop and force-fed them Brazil v Croatia. She'll thank me one day, hopefully. Allison, though, just talking about him a little bit, I think, a couple of really smart saves second half. Little bit nervy to begin with the ball at his feet. I think the first couple of times he kicked the ball out, he just kicked it straight out of play. But he grew into the game, and he does have a willingness to sort of play it out from the back, and Brazil are very good at that. But equally, at times, it gave me the jitters. I was thinking, bloody hell, these lads do this in Anfield, and there's going to be a few people going, but he never gave up, and he kept on doing it. And he grew into the game, he was very good with the ball at his feet. He was hitting Marcello, he was hitting the centre-backs, he was hitting midfielders, willing to take a few risks in order for Brazil to build out from the back. So you could understand exactly why Liverpool are interested in Allison, if you do believe the reports, because the guy suits our system very, very well. Maybe more so than Oblak, who I believe is a little bit more stay-on-your-line type of a goalkeeper. Allison looks to play the ball out and keep possession and move it quickly. Whether we'll get Allison or not, who knows? Rumours over the last 24 hours that Real Madrid are actually interested in him. Rumours again that Allison might want to sound out these rumours and see whether Real Madrid are interested, because he'd probably find Real Madrid a better proposition than Liverpool right now, and rightfully so, to be fair. 3 times on the bounce European Cup holders. They're a massive, massive club in world football, probably the biggest club in world football, unfortunately, and you couldn't blame a guy for wanting to go there if they are interested. But I would like Liverpool to take a close look at Allison. We're actually going to do a debate show live on Thursday. I've got Tom, who is a staunch supporter of the incumbent goalkeeper in Luis Carriers. Me, who probably wants to look to sign somebody. And we're going to have a proper debate, and not like a fucking screaming, shouting match or anything like that, but talk about why we both have our opinions. So please do come and join us on Thursday for that one. It promises to be an absolutely belter show. And we've given ourselves a few days to properly research it and produce some really good content for you guys. So do check back on Thursday for that. Obviously, we'll be here with new shows every day between now and then, of course. So stay involved. Do subscribe to the Redmen TV on YouTube if you want to get onto that. This is one of my favourites from today's news show. This is from Don Balon, the rumour mongers from Spain. It's a translated website, and everybody knows I just love translated websites. 90 million euros, the offer of crazy people who can take Oblak out of Atletico de Madrid. An unexpected proposal. It seemed that nobody was willing to pay for Jan Oblak the 100 million euros asked by Atletico de Madrid. But it seems that this week has come a considerable offer. 90 million euros for the Slovenian goalkeeper. The proposal is the biggest that has received the red and white set, Atletico, and Oblak would become the most expensive goalkeeper in history with enough advantage over Gigi Buffon, who cost something less than 60 million euros. The team that has been launched by the goalkeeper mattress has been Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp has made too easy by Luis Carriers in the Champions League final to know what the team needed to improve next season, to return to aspire to conquer the maximum continental club title, the European Cup. The failures of Carriers caused the Klopp put as a top priority the signing of a good goalkeeper. I love it. I absolutely love translated websites. So, it's a complete and utter rumour. I put no credence in the fact that Liverpool have bid 90 million euros for Jan Oblak, although I would be very happy with Jan Oblak coming into Liverpool Football Club. Top quality goalkeeper. He really, really is. Everybody who watches La Liga, everybody who enjoys performances of goalkeepers know that Jan Oblak is good. I don't think that Liverpool have bid for him, so don't be getting too excited on it. But wouldn't it be mad if we had? I mean, it looks like either way, if we buy Allison or if we buy Oblak, we're probably breaking the transfer record for a goalkeeper. That would mean that Liverpool would potentially have the highest, most expensive centre-back in the world ever, and the most expensive goalkeeper in the world. And it kind of just tells you how bad we were, doesn't it, in defence, and how much of a problem that's been for Liverpool over the last few years. Again, I don't believe in it, but I kind of would like it to be true. And I'm sure you're exactly the same. Leave me your thoughts on that in the comments below. Read Liverpool next. Ovie Ejaria close to sealing a loan move to Rangers. According to the Daily Record, Ovie Ejaria is set to complete a loan move to Rangers within the next 48 hours. Obviously, Stevie G took over there. He's got a working relationship with Ovie Ejaria. It sounds believable. I don't know whether this is true, but we'll keep our eyes peeled for the next 2 days, see if this one comes in. I can understand why Stevie would want Ovie. It's also a move that I think would probably suit Ovie Ejaria. I think, you know, it's very, very difficult to break into this Liverpool side now, especially with the rumoured signings of Fekir, especially with the signings of Fabinho, Keita, Henderson, Milner, Wijnaldum, Adam Lallana, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, all at the football club. It's going to be increasingly difficult for the likes of Ovie Ejaria, Ben Woodburn, to get into this squad. Are they getting in the front three? Nah. And there's not many players in world football that are getting into our front three right now. So it's going to be difficult for them. Steven Gerrard probably recognises that and probably understands that Ovie Ejaria is a good footballer who could take his level up a notch if he were to move to Rangers. So there we go. Tom, have you got anything to start me off on the comments section, please?
Yes. So Peter R talking about Emre Can. He says, not asked about Emre leaving. Keita and Fabinho are both upgrades. We need players at Liverpool who want to play for the club.
Yeah, and that is, I fully agree with that statement. It's massively important. We've seen, you know, even just the step up in Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, he wanted to come and play for Liverpool. He wanted to try and be a central midfielder for Liverpool Football Club. So you can totally understand what that can do to someone. And, you know, our players need to want to play for Liverpool. We shouldn't be seen as a stepping stone for too long. We've been a stepping stone. We should be the destination, for goodness sake. Do you know what I mean? We're Liverpool Football Club. We've just got to a European Cup final on our first attempt back in Europe. Jurgen Klopp's taken us to 2 European finals in in 3 years, and one of those years we weren't in Europe. We're a European powerhouse, and we're playing the type of football the footballers want to play. We've got a front three that players in midfield certainly would like to sort of service, would like to assist. Why wouldn't you want to have Mo Salah, Sadio Mane and Roberto Firmino in front of you? It's going to make your job a lot easier. You know, you're going to have a little bit more space because you've got 3 amazing players in front of you. And with the addition of Fabinho, with Naby Keita coming in, we're a strong proposition for any player around Europe. And we're back. We are honestly back, and I cannot wait. Have you got something for the next one, mate? Fekir, maybe?
Yes. Paul Pugh says the Fekir transfer has been dragging on too long. Can we just pay the price and get him?
It's only been a week or so. Come on. It feels like it's going to drag on, and it feels like that Jean-Michel Aulas is going to be the reason why. And I can totally understand it. You know, I really kind of do understand that. I think if someone was coming in for a Liverpool player now and they were going to the World Cup and they were likely to maybe be a star for their country, you would want to get the most maximum value for that transfer. We know one thing about FSG. We know a few things about FSG, but they have a value in their heads of what a player is worth, and they need to be able to get that value for him. It wasn't that, like, let's look at the centre-back thing. We could have signed the centre-back for 45 million quid. I'm damn sure of that. We could have signed any other centre-back, but we knew that the right guy was going to cost us 75 million quid. They're not afraid to put their hands in the pockets and pull out the right money for the right player. But ultimately, there is a price. Would they pull out that money if it was 150 million for Virgil van Dijk? Probably not, because they realise what the value of the market is, and they realise what the value of that player potentially could be to this Liverpool side. So we've seemed to be very strong negotiators in the transfer markets in the last couple of years. Listen, the Mo Salah one is a perfect example. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain's looking very good. Gini Wijnaldum, even your Adam Lallana's, we've had our money's worth out of that. So Liverpool have been very, very good at getting value in the transfer window. So it's as annoying as it is for a Liverpool fan, I can totally understand it from Leon's point of view. Have you got one on the goalkeepers then, mate?
I do. So
apologies on that noise. I've literally no idea what's going on, but it sounds like we're in a festival.
Zachary Goss says, has Allison proved he's a big enough of an upgrade on Karius to justify the price tag?
Honest answer is I don't know. Honest answer, I've not watched 38 games of Allison or 40 games of Allison. The bits and pieces that I have watched, and I've watched a couple of full games, obviously, we played them. He wasn't exactly outstanding in the first game. But I don't know is the answer to that. I think he's a very good goalkeeper. It's not us that you have to prove it to, though, is it? It's Jurgen Klopp and that team who are signing players at the moment, and if they believe that he's worth it, then they'll pay the money, and if they don't, then they won't pay the money. It's going to be that simple, and there's going to be a rebuild job with Lloris Karius, whether you think that's the right thing or the wrong thing. I've said a few times over the last sort of 6 months, you trust in Jurgen Klopp, and you know what, there was a point last week where it probably wouldn't have when it comes to the goalkeeper. If you'd have told me last week, 2 days after the European Cup final, whether Lloris Karius should be at Liverpool and whether I'd be able to give him my full support when the season started, I probably wouldn't have. But with a little bit of time and a little bit of understanding of what Jurgen Klopp and these guys have been doing at Liverpool Football Club, if Jurgen Klopp tells me that Lloris Karius is going to be our #1 goalkeeper at the start of the season, then it's very easy to say trust in Klopp, but you've got to. If you do, you've got to. And you've got to put your trust in Klopp. So I don't know whether I've answered your question or not, or just made it a little bit more cloudy, but whatever. Next one then.
There's another one on the goalkeeper. First name, surname says, we scored 7 against Allison and Oblak. He plays in a team with 10 men behind the ball, and no team has many shots against them. I don't know what your thoughts on that.
Yeah, well, actually, Ben's doing a really interesting show looking at the comparisons of Oblak versus Allison. So we're doing like another little statty show to give you a really good view of the two goalkeepers, gives you an idea of their save percentages and all that type of stuff. So when we boil down into the facts, and Ben's done all the work on this one, you'll get a real good answer to that. So I could just spout you a little bit of opinion about it, and I will do. But I think if you want the nuts and bolts of this issue, then that video will probably be out tomorrow, I'd guess, on the Redmen TV YouTube. And then we're probably going to do an even more in-depth subscriber show, looking at probably 5 of the targets. So we're going to look in depth at Courtois, I think. We'll look at Allison, Butland, Karius, of course, and Allison and Oblak. So yeah, that could be a really interesting show over there as well. For me, I'd rather see Liverpool sign a goalkeeper that suits the system a little bit more, but equally, if Oblak's just the better keeper and you can get him doing a few other things, he's not asked to do what Allison does or what Karius does because he plays for that side. That doesn't necessarily mean that he can't do it. Fair point? Okay, so there we go then. That's been the Daily News Show for today. I'll be back tomorrow. We've got a clip coming out from our player rating show later on today. Some really interesting stuff planned for the rest of the week as well. Sillinson was the other goalkeeper. Lots of people talking about him. I don't understand the Sillinson stuff, right? Because he's like, it's a 60 million release clause. Everyone's saying like, yeah, you could get him for like 30, 40 million or something. The lads play Copa del Rey games, you know what I mean? And just because he comes from Barcelona doesn't mean he's worth 30 or 40 million quid. He doesn't seem to have enough games under his belt to be able to judge him properly at the moment. So I'd be surprised if we went in for him. But anyway, yeah, listen, like the video, of course. We've got a belter of a show coming up later. It was one of the maddest shows ever. Like, think of a box of frogs. It was that mad. It was mad as a box of frogs. Like, we've got Ricky Tomlinson in the studio. We got Gary Skyner, a Liverpool comedian as well, and we had Liverpool legend Alan Kennedy on the sofas behind me. We recorded it earlier on today. That will be out either tonight or tomorrow morning. Stay tuned for that one. It was absolute belter. Like the video, subscribe to the Redmen TV, and I'll see you next time.